Hi, Heather. Welcome to the NTM Growth Marketing Podcast. I'm excited to be speaking with you today.
Thank you. It's good to be here with you, Andrew.
I've been looking forward to this conversation, and your organization is involved with some very cutting edge technology and marketing practices. And I'd love for you to start off, share a little bit more about what your company is all about. What is your role at the company?
Okay, be happy to do that. So, I joined a company called NeuReality. It's NEU, but it also means it's a new reality. And I would say in general, we're a lot of senior, seasoned technology veterans from engineering, sales, business development. My area is marketing, communications, press relations. And this is an Israeli startup. Many of you will know that Israel has a very robust tech sector and amazing talent. And I worked at Intel for 20 years before coming to NeuReality. So even during my Intel days, we had a very strong Israeli presence with fabs and everything else. As far as what we do, we are very much a deep tech company. It's not the type of tech infrastructure that is going to ever be a household name, or even people within the industry. It's not software. It's the silicon level. It's the infrastructure. It's the architecture that was designed to basically super boost GPUs and AI accelerators. That matters because that silicon basically runs the AI data centers that are helping deliver all these great experiences, from ChatGPT to Gemini to Copilot.
What does the day in the life of Heather look like?
Well, the first thing that happened was a time zone change. I live in the Pacific time zone, and my headquarters is in Israel. So about a 10-hour time difference, 11, I think now with daylight savings. So the day in the life for me is I get up pretty early in the morning, and check email, the news the night before. It's a very fast moving market. AI is. Earnings were yesterday from some of the bigger companies, from AWS, Microsoft, Meta, Google, etc. So I basically try to stay up on the news and the trends, and as Israel's going to sleep, I keep them updated on what's going on in the market overall. And then I just dig in. There is a lot of execution. I'm a one-person marketing person at a company that's about 65 people big. So it's a little bit of strategy, but it's a lot of execution. I'd say I'm more of a doer, more than a PowerPoint maker.
Are you a remote employee then? Do
I
you go to an
am.
office?
I am a remote employee.
So I've had a lot of conversations and back and forth as to whether people need to be in the office, they need to be
Yeah.
remote. I've heard from a lot of marketers who enjoy the remote work life. What are
Right.
your thoughts on remote versus in person?
Such a great question. It's, the debate. It's been the debate for so many years. Um, I guess my opinion is I need to be wherever the work is. Sometimes the work is at a customer site. Sometimes it's with a supplier. Sometimes it's traveling. I've never been much about whether I'm in an office or whether I'm in my home office. I'm much more about where is the work happening, where are the conversations happening, and taking up space at that table to be part of those conversations. I, in some way, I've been work from anywhere, whether you want to call that remote or work from home or telecommuting. We've given it all kinds of names. I've been around this for about 25 years. I feel like I've been able to kind of work from anywhere since about 1998, if I'm truthful. And there are
Wow.
pros and cons to both of them. There's great benefit from being in an office with lots of collaboration and lots of energy. And there's great benefits to being a little bit more solo, whether you're at a coffee shop or in your home office. So I don't think there's one right way. I think it has to do with the person, and the company's needs, and most of all, the customer needs.
I've too been remote for almost all of my career, and you never catch the workplace cold that floats around. That's what I
No,
always joked around with people.
I haven't. I guess that cold would have to come a long way from Tel Aviv.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh, so shifting focus a little bit on marketing, I'd love for you to share a marketing strategy that you're currently using that's proving to be successful without unveiling, your secret sauce IP, but
Sure.
any takeaways that we can have from that.
Yeah. I was really thinking about this last night, and I would say if someone comes from a communications background, a PR background, or like a business school background, in some ways we all touch marketing. And the thing that I think has been really consistent in my career has been the power of storytelling. Storytelling is super important, and having a compelling story that's clear and concise, customer centric, and is also competitive, like what makes you different from, what makes you unique from, another product or another company. That's something I've been really, really working on. And even though the tools might change, like when I started in my career, a couple of decades ago, more than a couple of decades ago, um, I was in this industry before the internet, before Netscape, before AOL dial-up. And so I didn't have internet marketing per se as one of my channels. And then we went through, 10 or 20 years, and then social media came along. And then there's and now it's AI, right? Everyone talks about AI. To me, those are all great tools. But at the end of the day, you have to have a compelling product, and you have to have a compelling story around why that product matters and how it's going to solve problems for people. That's what a project I've been working on for really about a year, to keep refining and refining and refining that story until it's crisp and clear and short and memorable.
Is there a brand, maybe a personality, maybe a movie who you think has done a fantastic job with their storytelling?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. There's so many. Um, well, I won't give what I won't do is that I won't give a list of, top tech brands, because that's too easy. One that I've been really impressed by and I'm a customer of is a company called Bird Eye. I don't know how many people have heard of Bird Eye. That's one word, by the way. I think they do a fantastic job marketing content and education. And what their brand means to me is that it's made my life easy, and it has made it's created an ongoing drumbeat, an ongoing funnel of customer feedback. And you know what it is? It's a simple tool that automates your review system, your Google reviews, your Facebook reviews. It's super powerful. It's so automated that all you're left with is saying thank you when someone gives you a 5-star review. I think it's a fantastic brand, and it's simple. As far as a really big brand, I've always been a big fan of Unilever and Dove. I think they've done a great justice to the women of the world, and to just, humanity in general, and how they portray people and how they want to help people be their best.
They've had some really powerful commercials and advertisements over the years.
Yeah. And whether they intended to or not, I think it has been a contributor to a really great movement. I grew up at a time where everyone had to be skinny and thin, twiggy type of stuff. And, a lot of eating disorders, kind of came to the fore when I was a teenager. I think they've done a great service it's about health, and not your outer appearance. It's about the inside. So I
Uh,
really like them, and I go and buy Dove every time, just because I get that emotion, which is what you go for with a brand, right? You want a strong emotional connection to your brand, and that brand means wholesome and healthy, and that you're loved.
so I love your answer to that, with the simplicity of a marketing strategy, which is storytelling, which is marketing 101. That's why I have my WWE championship belt behind me, because I think that is
Yes,
like the best storytelling, in the sense of it's so
truly.
simplistic, and they
Yes.
have to do it every single week with like 10-hour plus of programming.
Keep making it interesting and coming back, right?
It makes you feel something.
and feel something, right?
But this question is a little bit different that I would love for you to share anything you've done that is innovative in your marketing that you would like to share that's been important to your strategy.
Hmm, innovative. Well, there's big innovation and there's small innovation. I'd say in NeuReality, the innovation of the product is very, very big. And of course, product is part of marketing, right? If I think about the other P's, I grew up with product, price, place, and promotion. There's other models. Um, Big product innovation. So the storytelling is around that. Innovation to me might be in really focusing on account-based marketing. I don't know if everybody knows that term, so I'll give a
Sure,
brief
if you want to share it,
explanation.
please go ahead.
Yeah. So account-based marketing is when you're not marketing to the world and saying, I'm going to use some big pipes like, Hulu streaming or Pandora or social media or even press relations. It says there are 2 or 3 accounts, like right down to the name of the company. In our case, Qualcomm is a partner I can talk about and say this specific account or this specific technology partner is so critical to our success that all my marketing is only going to be focused on maybe 1, 2, or 3 accounts, and coming up with categories. So in our case, it might be we're an ingredient. We're a component inside of an AI data center. So what does our product need to work with? Because it has to be compatible with something. So saying, that's my customer. That's how I'm going to market to that customer. There might be another category for us, which is cloud service providers. Because so many people buy their data not by owning their own data center, but by buying it from Google Cloud or Meta Cloud or Microsoft or AWS. So marketing to and marketing with those types of companies. That's account-based marketing. When I was growing up, it was really everything was about big, like big lead generation. Let's generate lots and lots and lots of leads, thousands of leads. The more leads, the better. With a company like ours, it would be, what are we going to do with 2,000 leads, right? It would be like a lot of marketing activity that might make you feel good, but it doesn't align to the business objectives or the financial objectives of the company. So marketing for me might be a lot of co-marketing and co-selling with 1 or 2 or 3 partners for a couple of years. I think that's innovative. I don't think I'm the only person doing that, but I think there's some really great tools out there that have helped people like me who are sort of a one-woman band in marketing become super productive.
So we're going to wrap up our show with a focus on AI. So the first AI-oriented question is, can you share how AI has transformed your marketing methods?
Yes, in so many ways. I would say it started, probably the minute ChatGPT came out in my case. I've been around AI technology for a long time, but as a user of it, like as a consumer of it, I think I got word of Google Bard and ChatGPT not that far apart, and someone said I should look at it, so I did, and it's been life changing. Mm-hmm. It's been life changing. So that's where I started, and I would say I probably use 3 tools every single day.
Can you share any examples of
sure.
AI tools?
Yeah. Well, I've tried the language models like ChatGPT, I mentioned, Bard. We're a Microsoft shop, meaning we use Microsoft as employees, so there's Copilot built in. My personal favorite is Gemini from Google Gemini. Mm-hmm. Super powerful, helps me, brainstorm with myself. I feel like they're sort of a partner for my brainstorming research and, more effective writing. The other one I love is Canva. I do a lot of sort of self-service graphic design for the simple things. I'm not a professional designer by any stretch, but I can make a pretty good social media post.
You're the second marketing executive this week on the show who said that same thing, that they use Canva for themselves and it just saves them time instead of, a week-long process to go to a designer.
Exactly. I had a case yesterday where an executive in my company said, it's a national holiday celebration in India, and I really want to send out a holiday greeting. Well, that's not on any of my strategic marketing plans. But all I had to do was get into Canva, find a template, change it to our brand colors, use the the image generator. There's an AI image generator within Canva, and boom, it was back in an hour. The executive loved it and posted it. That whole cycle took 90 minutes, whereas before that could have created a lot of churn in a company and a lot of back and forth. I didn't even have to bother my design agency.
That's great.
So that's the other one I love is HubSpot. That happens to be our CRM, our customer relationship management system. So when I'm posting blogs that connect to the website, or reviewing emails, and I think my agency did a super great job, but that's not quite the right word. They have Copilot built in, and so I can just select all on a paragraph and say, can you make that more witty? Can you make that shorter? Can you make that more professional sounding? And, again, that's just super productive use of my time and my agency's time.
So our last question today is any career advice you have for marketing executives that you would like to share?
Yeah, I spent the last 5 years, I guess, are in and around the technology, in my case, hardware and semiconductor. There's a lot of layoffs again right now. We see it. I feel it. A lot of my long-term, friends and coworkers are affected by this. And I would just say I spent 30 years with two companies. That probably makes me
Wow.
maybe a little bit of an exception. I was sort of the opposite of a job hopper. I'm not a job hopper. It's like what I commit, and I commit with my whole heart, and I stay through good times and bad. That's sort of my personality. So, I had 10 years with Dow Chemical and about 20 years with Intel, but, both big manufacturing companies as well. And I eventually, I left of my own volition after a sabbatical, and it was scary. So, first of all, it's scary no matter how it happens, whether you part on good terms, bad terms, voluntary, not voluntary, retirement, not retirement. It's scary. And I guess my advice would be to trust yourself, to know that you have really great skills, and treat yourself as a brand. You're your own brand. You have a personal brand, and be able to tell your own story that's, again, clear and compelling, competitive, what makes you different from, better than, gives you an edge maybe over somebody else. And be humble, because all of us are learning all the time. I didn't know anything about AI 2 years ago, and yet I'd been in the technology industry for 2 decades. So be humble, be a lifelong learner, and trust yourself. You're probably a very highly skilled, smart, committed person. You will find the next big thing.
I have to ask, are you, you said two companies in 30 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic on your loyalty, and I commend you for that. I have to ask if you see that showing up in your sports team fandom. Like, are you a Detroit Lions fan? You're like, I know I loved them in the 90s with Barry Sanders, but I'm here.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm not going to proclaim to be like the biggest sports enthusiast ever. But, when Facebook first came out, they used to have I'm going way back, so to 2007 or 2008, they used to have in your profile, it used to say, what religion are you? And I used to write down Hockey Night in Canada. So the only sport I really follow with zeal is the NHL and Olympics hockey. And yes, when I lived in Michigan with Dow, I was all about the Detroit Red Wings all day long. And now I'm all about the Seattle Kraken all day long.
Nice.
And growing up in Vancouver, British Columbia, I am loyal to the Canucks to the bitter end.
Nice.
So
I love that. So Heather, can you wrap up and just share any links, social media handles, best ways to follow up with you or NeuReality?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I'm thinking, probably the best way is I'm on LinkedIn almost daily. I connect with a lot of people. Just DM me, message me directly in my LinkedIn. It's under Heather Dixon, Srigley, Dixon. And I'm not on X all the time, but I am there, and people do connect with me that way. I tend to use X a little bit more as just my personal view of the world. Like, when it says views my own, they really, really are. LinkedIn, I tend to use a little bit more to share what's going on specifically with my company and within my industry.
Perfect, Heather. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Before we jump into our next guest, we want to take a moment to tell you about our marketing mastermind cohort, No Typical Marketers. If you are a marketing executive looking to connect with like-minded professionals, this is the space for you. It's more than just a Discord group. It's your exclusive ticket to monthly roundtable meetings where we have group discussions about advanced marketing strategies, share insights, and solve real world challenges like implementing AI agents into your marketing. Membership is exclusive and by application only. If you're ready to take your marketing game to the next level, apply now using the link in the description below. We can't wait to see you there. Now, back to the episode. Hi, Yoel. Welcome to the NTM Growth Marketing Podcast. I'm excited to be speaking with you today.
Hey, Andrew, thank you for having me.
So when I initially looked at the website of your organization, I thought, wow, this is impressive. This is complex technology. And I would love for you to share in your own words a little bit about your organization and what is your role at the company.
Sure. So at Quantum Machines, what we do is we develop control solutions for quantum computers. Basically, quantum technology, imagine a very, very strong muscle. This is like a muscle that can lift mountains, but it's completely useless without the brain. And the brain is what Quantum Machine brings to the game. It's a little bit rudimentary, but in a nutshell, this is what we do. I'm the VP of marketing. I head the marketing team here, responsible for classical marketing, content marketing, digital marketing, working closely with the product team and the sales team, obviously, to generate more sales for the company.
Have you always worked in technology?
I have. I actually started about, 24 years ago. I just can't believe how time flies. And yes, I'm not a technologist myself. I'm a pure marketer. I came from content marketing and worked my way up through public relations, product marketing, even investor relations for several years. And then 10 years ago, I made the leap from corporate to startups. And actually, this is the fourth company where I come in and I build the marketing practice almost from scratch. And that's what I love doing. So
do you prefer a startup?
So yes, today I can say that I prefer startup. I think there's a lot of action there. Everything is moving quickly. There's no fat, right? It's all very lean, and what you do not get done in 24 hours, 7 days a week, it's just not being done. If I can tell you a little anecdote, I used to work for Israeli corporation, and I had a team of 12 people, and it was great. And I was managing, and I had the time of my life. And then I went to a startup. And the first week, I wrote the marketing plan, and I showed it to the board. And everybody said, "Great, let's do it." And I turned around, and there was nobody, to pass the back to. So that's when it dawned on me that you have to do everything alone, and I love it, and I've been doing it ever since.
So speaking of marketing strategy, it sounds like in that instance, you built the marketing plan, you did have staff, vendors set up. But in the current organization, can you share any marketing strategies you're using that are proven to be really successful in the 2024 landscape?
So this is very interesting because the market or the company I work for now is in a growing market. It's actually taking its baby steps. And in many ways, I've gone back, the full 360 to where I was over 20 years ago. This is, we're selling to physicists, either in large universities like Harvard and Yale and Stanford and so on and so forth, or companies that develop quantum computers. Some of them are unknown, but others like Google, AWS, IBM, etc., are more well known. But we sell to physicists. And what they love is content and deep technical content. Because it's a small industry, most of the marketing is done face-to-face in events. So 2024, we're participating in over 40 events. One of them even was an event that we organized ourselves. So in many, many ways, it's going back to 2000, 2001, where you write a lot of brochures and long text, and you go to events. And I really had to learn everything from scratch because I came from cybersecurity, where everything is digital. And we were using avatars, we were using ABMs, we were everything was digital. And of course, with COVID, everything was digital. But coming to the quantum technology or the quantum computing industry, it's all going back to personal and deep content. So this is what we've done.
Amazing. So I hear, and I've heard this actually from a few marketing executives recently, that it's been a lot of, to use an American football terminology, blocking and tackling. With our version of football, that's, going back to the basics is a term we in America might use. But is there anything innovative you feel like you're doing in your marketing, or anything as a whole in the marketing space that you think is really innovative right now that you pay attention to?
So I think some of the most important things is in the content creation segment. So for example, videos are a big thing, right? To shoot a video, we used to go to agencies and pay thousands of dollars for, and they would work for 3 months with a creative and storyboards and everything, and these things would cost like $20,000-$30,000, and by the time they went out, they were already irrelevant. Today, with AI, we can create videos on the fly. With people who use AI, I go to Fiverr and I can create videos and beautiful documents and great graphics in days, sometimes even hours. We create a lot of automation tools using anything from HubSpot to things that are bespoke, that are created for us on Fiverr. And I think this is what really changed. It's not so much the interface between marketing and the customers, but a lot in the back office, making it easier for us to create a lot of content, deliver it in a very fast and inexpensive way. The other thing is I call it, and I sorry, we in Israel use military terms, but it's sniper. So a lot of the
we
times,
use sports analogies all the time. That's okay to.
I know you do, and look, I love football, but but this is going, we're targeting specific audiences with almost bespoke content. So think about ChatGPT, for example, how great it is. You write like a generic piece, and then you ask ChatGPT to help you to optimize it for different audiences. And especially in the market I'm in, it's not just physicists, but there are 9 or 10 or more different technologies that are used to actually implement quantum technology. And each one of these requires a different set of content. And we're using AI tools, for example, to do that. So the humans are writing the generic deep technology text, but then the AI really helps us to slice and dice it and apply it to the right audiences. So this is something that we're using a lot.
So my wife is a scientist. Her dad is in the world of physicists, statistician, and so I know this type of person well. It's literally my family now. So I'll make my point. I'm going to tell a little story though. So you sometimes hear in marketing how you need to dumb things down to the way like a 4th grader could understand. You see, with such an intellectual market, you actually need to make it even. You have to make it sound for PhD, because they might not take you seriously if it sounds like a 4th grader.
That's right, but this is something that I have proof of, that physicists are humans. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, if you have good content, the same marketing practices that work for a CISO, for a security officer, or for a telecoms officer or an engineer. It works as long as you have the right content. The interaction, the channels actually work. And again, we're going back to basics. So, for example, having a party at a trade show is something that I did not do in a long time, because I thought it was cheap and sleazy. But first of all, it's not. Second of all, it really works because in a small market with a lot of competition, if you go to an event, for example, people don't have time to go into all of the booths. They're physicists, so they're going to the lectures. So the time to get them and talk to them is after hours. So you create a setting for them to come and enjoy themselves. And for me, it was going back to the telecom heydays of 2004, 5, 6, when this is where the business was at events, right? You were only waited for the after hours. But that's why I'm saying I went the complete circle and gone back to when I just started, which is great. I feel young again.
So my last question is around AI. I think you did a great job explaining how you're using that in the organization. Are there any specific tools? I know you mentioned ChatGPT, but any other AI-oriented tools you tend to use in marketing week over week, or is ChatGPT the main LLM you use?
So it is the main one. A lot of the tools that I use have AI in them. For example, HubSpot and Trendemon, which I use for optimizing my inbound and outbound. There's a great Israeli company. It's called DID, and they do virtual avatars. And we actually used their technology for ads. So we had avatars of famous physicists inviting people to come to shows. So this is Gen AI, right? It's the dumbest thing, but it works, just because it grabs attention. So yeah, but AI again, AI is coming in a big way. If I may be a party pooper, not everything that is tagged AI is actually AI. A lot of it is what we used to call big data and automation, etc. So it makes things a little bit better. People kind of, I think, abuse the term AI. It's not called AI, but technology is super helpful. Today, with a very small team, I can do things that I could not do with a team of 10 or 15 marketers. With a group of 2 or 3 pros, you can really you can make it feel like it's a whole department of 10, 15, 20 people with writing and creating content and creating videos and using it for graphics. Just think about the graphics that DALL-E and Midjourney help you design. It's great.
So lastly, can you share any links, social media handles, best ways to follow up with you and your organization?
Yeah, so please follow us on LinkedIn and on X. This is where we are. There's a lot of conversation there. Look for QM_US, and obviously look for me, Yoel Knoll. That's my handle both on LinkedIn and on X. And I'm happy to engage with everybody who wants to have a great conversation about marketing.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your time with us at the NTM Growth Marketing Podcast. If you enjoyed this conversation and would like to hear specific digital marketing topics discussed in the future episodes, please leave a review on iTunes or comment on our website at notypicalmoments.com. Don't forget to share today's episode with anyone looking to grow their business or themselves.